All right, Oval fans, holy crap, yeah, I had to get my review up a day earlier than I usually do because last night's episode was pretty dang good. Kind of makes me wish that I watched it live and, live tweeted with everybody because Ruthless was trending for obvious reasons last night. And this makes me want to, finish up or catch up on season 3 sooner than later, but this was some good, this was a good episode. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Just because there were a couple of bits I really didn't care for. Just because of the fact that we don't really get what we usually, we don't get anything out of the norm. For example, the scene between Hunter and Victoria is just the same old paranoid Hunter. I mean, in this situation, he is correct. The fact that he wanted to see Victoria's phone to see who she was talking to, but he's thinking that she had Jason moved and, is working against her. And it's like, oh, you're talking with Donald Hunt. It's like, you or your father, you're trying to get me out of here. Oh, I want to figure out what you're up to. That. And then I didn't care about the Lily stuff. I mean, that's the, core of this show. And that's not to say the men aren't idiots sometimes too, but I just hate it when specifically the women, like, with Nancy and Lily, they're told, hey, don't go to this place because X, Y, and Z will happen. Then they go, putting themselves and others in danger. And as a result, other people have to clean it up. I mean, with Lily, what was it? Officer, what's his name again? Brian Heather is trying to get Lily to understand I can't discharge you until you get out of until the doctor says so. And, don't try to fight it. And when Donald shows up, he gets, stern with him. And then Lily, I believe last week, warned him about, look, if you do this, he's going to kill you, everybody you care about. And it's just ridiculous. But let's get to the start of the episode. So basically, Maria, the name of the woman that, Alan gave Alonso last week, is his mother's name. And Alonso comes in there and finds Jason. Long story short, he actually buys Jason's story of the fact that his parents tried to kill him. And, he's trying to find help. Alonso actually buys the story. Him and Alan go into the kitchen to talk about it after Jason is sitting on the couch. And Alonso is like, look, he's not going to run because he needs us. He has nowhere else to go. So from there, he calls Sam, the one person he can call in a situation like this, but he's not answering the phone. He's too busy getting his ass whooped. But yeah, if Sam would have answered the phone right then and there, we could have figured things out. But here's the thing with that. I wish Alonso did get Sam on the line because it goes back to what I said a few weeks ago about Jason escaping the cabin. What exactly is his plan? Richard and Sam, or Sam specifically, revealed that he had him moved from the hospital. And it's just one of those situations where you don't trust your parents because they tried to kill you. Well, Victoria specifically. You literally, escape the safe house you were at to go back into the city to, I don't know, hide out or start all over. This entire storyline makes no sense. It really doesn't. So all Alonso tells Alan is that, look, I'll stay here tonight, keep watch, and whatever you do, don't call Chief of Staff. So he'll try Sam again in the morning or something. All right, so as I mentioned before at the hospital, Officer Heather takes the cuffs off Lily, gives her phone back, makes sure she doesn't run though. And Lily, is pleading with him, hey, you need to get out of here when Donald shows up. And, let him leave. Don't, get rough with him or anything. And, Donald pretty much says, oh, it's your funeral. But, I think it was Lily that said that when she, sees that Donald will sit into the hallway because the officer says she's not leaving until she's officially discharged. And that's pretty much it for that particular scene. We go over to the bar and Max is, there watching TV and he tells the, he tells the bartender to, change the channel because the TV actually has an announcement about how tomorrow morning there will be a small private ceremony at the White House for the first son, and Max ain't trying to hear that crap. But then we have a call from Bobby, who's still on his date because he's going over to Sam's house with Priscilla. Max warns him not to do it, but then Kyle comes up mid-conversation. Kyle wants to make things right between the two. Max ain't having that. And I mean, when it seemed like Kyle was about to say something semi-flirtatious, Max was like, say it and I'll knock your teeth out. It's kind of funny how Kyle was like, hey, well, it was a good fight. I'm thinking it wasn't a fight. I don't know who got their tail whooped more or worse. Was it Kyle getting choked out by Max, or was it Sam getting his butt kicked in this episode? I would probably say Sam because he was fighting a losing battle, but we'll get to that in a second. So after, Kyle and Max had their little talk, Max goes over to another table to talk to that one agent whose name I keep forgetting, but he basically gives him an update on Jason's location, or excuse me, the license plate that Sam was tracking, which they linked to Jason, so they know it's in the area. Which, again, what the heck was Jason's plan? I mean, you were out in the cabin, and even Sam said, hey, we can't keep him here forever. But it would have been a lot, slower to find him out in the woods than him in the freaking city staying at the apartment of one of the White House staff. It really makes no sense. So he gets a phone call from Donald to come to the hospital, so Kyle bounces. Now, from there, we go over to Sharon and Dale. I think they're going to Richard and Nancy's house, but Sharon tells Dale to go over to Kareem's because, she wants to talk to him because, well, even though Dale rightfully calls out, she doesn't come up with the best plans. She's confident that she knows what she's doing. And then the conversation kind of switches over to the fact that, hey, Miss Nancy was talking about how she was confident in the plan for me to go undercover to expose the president because those Secret Service guys, Max and Bobby, came up with it. And then she reveals her stripper origins to Dale. Turns out that both Barry and Kareem know about her stripping because that's how they met Sharon. That actually explains a lot when I really think about it. But, it's unclear if she's going to go undercover to bust Hunter, but, she's cocky about being able to do it. So, other than that, and like I said, I'm actually trying to save the Nancy stuff until the end. So, outside of Sam and Priscilla's house, Bobby pulls up, then Priscilla right behind him. She wants to go inside. He doesn't want to do it because he recognizes, look, we're both angry and hurt because I just went through something with somebody that I really cared about. We go inside, have sex, you're going to regret it tomorrow morning. You and Sam are going to have a cooling off period. You'll talk and you'll make up. Priscilla ain't trying to hear it. And then she even goes so far as like, look, Bobby, if you don't go in there, you're not getting another chance. I know. So he's about to leave. And then Sam pulls up and, Bobby kind of puts his hands up like, look, I ain't touching your wife or anything. But then Priscilla, starts touching on his chest and whatnot. Well, I think she was doing that before Sam even pulled up. But then, again, Bobby ain't trying to start no trouble. He's about to leave. But then Sam, mouths off. It's like, get away from my wife. Get out of here. And then Priscilla's like, you going to let him talk to you like a child? And then she presses up on Bobby and goes in for a kiss. Sam comes up and kind of like, well, he shoves Bobby back. And, well, he gets his ass beaten. He gets his ass whooped. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean, aside from that one shove, he doesn't land a single hit. He gets punched in the stomach. I mean, at the end of the fight, after he had, or the beating, not even a fight, but the beating after Bobby split, he tells Priscilla, it's my wound. No. Even if you didn't have that gunshot wound, no, Sam, don't. The fact that I get it though. Like, I mean, at one point he got hit so bad that Bobby just sent him flying back and he rolled to get back up off the street. And then, he grunted and hit, like punched the street. And you could tell, like, at that point, he knew he was fighting a losing battle, but he couldn't, go down without swinging, because manhood. But at the same time, it's like, look, man, it ain't worth it. Because of the fact that this is embarrassing. And the worst part about it is, you could tell Bobby at the end, he's like, dang it, I ain't mean to do it that hard. But beat him down that bad. So he goes up to Priscilla who's stunned, and then kisses her on the forehead, gets in his truck and leaves. Now, here's the part about Priscilla I don't like. While Bobby is wailing on Sam, like from that first hit, you can look at Priscilla and tell, oh my God, Sam. But then as soon as the fight's over, she wants to talk shit like, yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed that. He beat your ass the way I've always wanted to. Get a divorce. This ain't worth it. All right, so yeah, I already talked about Hunter being paranoid. No need to talk about that. Norman brings Kareem a handsaw. Basically, tells him to go in there, cut the body. Kareem ain't trying to hear it. So essentially, he says, "Look, I know a guy who's a cleaner, but it will cost you about $10,000. But he can come, remove the body, clean up this place, and that's your best bet because you're being a little wimp about it." I know. I think that Norman even had the idea to take the body out. Take him to like a, crackhead area or something like that, put some needle in his arm, give him a bag of drugs, basically look like he, killed, overdosed or something. I don't know, but he's going to call the cleaner. Honestly, I would call a cleaner too. I ain't sawing up no dead body. Like, look, I'll pay whatever it is, but yeah. So in any case, yeah, everything else to talk about revolves around the highest daikon elder mother and about 4 or 5 cult members at the house. So Nancy tells Richard that she saw Ruth and Callie at the compound. They're doing just fine. Callie's getting so big. The thing was, I went to the compound looking for Callie. I was forced to go in there by gunpoint, and Richard doesn't buy that, everything's all well and good, but he reminds Nancy of how Barry was found on their dining room table, almost naked, covered in glitter, and drugged up. But Nancy says, it was a misunderstanding because apparently the highest, they showed her videos of Barry doing all kinds of stuff while he was at the compound. And just a quick aside though, this is what I'm just hesitant to really get back into Ruthless because the timelines are just so separated at this point. In the Ruthless series, are we ever going to see what it was like for Barry when he got abducted by the cult? And then somewhere down the line, will we also see what Nancy was doing after she was forced into the compound? Or are these just things that we're told but not shown? That's what I don't like about this, because it's kind of like in Sisters where Sabrina is in jail, but we're told it was traumatic for her, but we don't know and we didn't see what happened to her. So it's just one of those things where you can't gloss over this. Don't step into the realm of, let's say, the Pains or assisted living where it's tell and not show. So in any case, Nancy invited them all there for dinner, and from there, her and Elder Mother go in the kitchen to cook, and the highest and Richard, want to talk one-on-one, but we skip over to the dinner scene. Everybody's, the highest, Elder Mother, Nancy, Daikon, they cleaning up their plate. Richard is just looking pissed at the highest the entire time until he snaps on him like, this is a bunch of lies, this is some bullshit. And then Elder Mother's like, how dare you talk to the highest? Like, hey, calm down. So Richard, Lord, he made the biggest mistake. He straight up says, I work at the White House. I know Secret Service, FBI agents, they will rain down on that compound of yours. And then the highest like, okay, Miss Nancy, would you go in the kitchen to prepare some food for me to take home? I would really like to bring some home with me. And, everybody steps away from the table aside from the highest, Daikon, and Richard. And the highest makes it known like, hey, I know you work for the White House and the government, the white man. I just came here not just to bring you back your wife, but to let you know how it's going to go down. First of all, also another point is Richard brings up the fact that you all ran me off the road because I recognize that gray van, but the highest denies it twice. So there you go. Basically, he threatens Richard like, hey, if any of the government step foot on our hollow ground again, we will open the front gates of the compound and they'll see it littered with the bodies of the 70 children we have there. Callie will be the first to be killed. You threatened my grand, and then, hey, I'm not finished. Next, we will have your wife killed. And Richard, I will bring you to the compound. and you will be mine. What do you mean by that? You'll be enlightened for the rest of your days. It's like, wait, what? So, in any case, he also mentions, Richard's like, what you did to my son was already a warning. Because Hai says, what we did to your son was a warning. What, you almost killed him? Oh. And then Daikon looked at him, because Richard got up from the table, so I don't know if Daikon looked at Richard like, hey, is he about to do something, or, oh, we already killed that Negro. But no, the highest said we already killed him. And then when Richard tries to, get up in his face, Daikon's like, touch him and you die. And then they left. And then Nancy was like, what's wrong? Because the highest does, say farewell and then leave. But, yeah, they admit to killing Barry, but that doesn't make a lot of sense because Barry had already gone missing and was... Nancy did not go to the compound until after Barry was already killed. But why would they kill Barry? This makes no sense. Okay, I'll do a separate video. But overall, this was a pretty good episode, though. I ain't gonna lie about that. And that's really all I gotta say. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. This was a good episode, but I did have a couple problems with it. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.